how did you discover DSP?
So, finding DSP was a kind of a odd journey for me. I had been searching YouTube for a bunch of like Xbox Live trolling videos, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was really big into like trolls like Minnesota Burns, those kinds of people. Okay. And I found this guy called DSP. Mm-hmm. And it's like, DSP Xbox Live abuse. I'm like, oh, this has got to be good. And then I realized it was just asshole just saying random insults to people just for messaging him. I'm like, all right, what's this guy's deal? Yeah. So I looked a little bit because I didn't want to make a decision on him just based off of one, 15-minute video. 15-minute videos, you get the worst, you get the best.
Of course.
And so I wanted to see what this guy was all about. So I visited one of his streams, and it was every other word out of his mouth was, here's how to donate, here's how to subscribe, give me bits, give me cheers, give me this, give me that. Oh, it's really hard. Life sucks. I'm like, dude, 80% of your stream here is you just asking for donos.
Right.
I've seen hot tub streamers request money less. So that's when I started getting kind of more into the detractor community. I didn't watch channels to begin with. I found them all on Twitter.
Okay.
That's kind of where my niche is I was a reply guy on Twitter.
Right.
Then the community kind of just really embraced me. They were really great people. They're like, oh yeah, DSP's, really bad. Here's some places to start.
Yes.
So my first video that I can remember was Secret Lives. Worst DSP moments of 2016. That's the first one I can remember. And honestly, I liked it because of the music. It had Led Zeppelin in it.
Okay.
I rather liked it. So that was my first kind of intro to detracting Phil. I don't watch a lot because there's only so much Phil I can take in a day.
Yeah.
There's only so much rage I can take, and the great thing about this community is, we were talking about this the other night, that you get new hats coming in, you got old hats that have been around for a while, mm-hmm. and it's nice to see the journey.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I still watch Secret. I'll watch on occasion, like Aquateal, Meerkat, and I like Steve of the Dead. I like his psychological, takes on Phil.
Okay. Big ups to Steve of the Dead and Aquateal, Meerkat. Yes, I'm a fan of yours too.
I think, for me, the most annoying trait is his absolute refusal to take any accountability for anything. Mm-hmm. Even from video games. The move didn't come out. It's not my fault. I did everything correct. And then to his bankruptcy, you see, I have no idea what was on that paperwork. Somebody else did it for me. The taxes, somebody else did it for me. It's not my fault. It's not my responsibility.
41 years old. Yeah, I know.
41 years old with a business degree.
Mm-hmm.
And publicly is stating to people, I have no idea how business works.
Yeah.
And that to me, it's not that he doesn't know. I don't believe that Phil is this blathering idiot that he makes himself out to be. I really don't believe the man is that much of an idiot. that he doesn't know about his taxes, that he doesn't know what was on his bankruptcy paperwork, but it's easier for him to say, oh, I don't know.
Yes.
Than it is to say, this is me taking accountability and responsibility.
Exactly. Easier to just feign ignorance and say, oh, well, if something goes wrong with this thing, it wasn't me that did it. I could just say, oh, well, you know, whatever that thing was I was meant to do in my life, no, not my problem. I don't know how you can continue to do that into your 40s, but
I don't know how you can continue to have a business and feign that much ignorance about your business.
Yeah.
But I think it has to do with how he grew up.
Indeed.
He grew up, you know, like an only child. So being able to go to his parents and say, oh, Mommy, Daddy, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know that the sun was hot. I didn't know that, you know, I wasn't supposed to stick a fork in the outlet. It's like, you're an idiot. But it's easier to look like an idiot than it is to actually take responsibility and go, wow, I was really stupid. I stuck a fork in the light socket. This is a bad idea. Maybe I shouldn't do that again.
Oh, you would think that there would be a point in your life where you'd want to be an adult, where you'd want to flee the nest, become independent, take charge of your life.
You would think.
You would think.
You would think.
I know when I got to a certain age, I wanted for my, my dad had passed away by the time, but my mother, I wanted her to be able to go back to Barbados, to retire, to live out the rest of her days. Just, you know, she's been looking after us for how long? I wanted to be able to live my own life.
Yes.
And the idea that I would want to say no, I would just want to stay under her wing for the rest of my days. That doesn't compute to me. I don't know how people do that.
I think for certain people who, especially children who are coddled, who are, they're that stereotypical only brat mentality, where they're handed things to them in life, and they never have had to take any kind of responsibility. They weren't allowed to fail, and fail spectacularly. Mm-hmm. Everyone in their life has some defining moment where they have failed.
Yeah.
And they learn from that failure. They grow from that failure.
Yeah.
Bill hasn't truly failed. He had an opportunity to fail when he lost the job with the helicopter company. But he had that parachute, the parachute of being able to stream, and that started really propping him up. So he never failed.
Yeah.
And without that failure to define his life, without that failure to give him that growth, you know, he'll say, oh, I failed 100 times. You know, I had, you know, tax problems. Well, you still haven't failed. You haven't fallen on your face.
Next question is, can you think of the one worst thing he ever did for you?
That was another one that I was like, okay, I've got a top 10 list, but I want to say for me, a fairly recent one would be when he was drinking on stream the one time, and he said a slur for homosexuals.
Okay.
When he was. That one was probably the worst for me, and it was the worst for me because you didn't see any immediate fallout. You saw detractors, go, did he just say what I think he said? Yeah, he did. Okay. And he was, he was talking, I think the intent was to speak in, old school gamer speak, where, you would say something was gay if it was not, not good.
Yeah.
But I think in his mind, he was blurring it because he was drunk. And, he was saying, oh, you want to see somebody insult somebody else? You go to YouTube.
Yeah, I remember.
And, yeah, and I know he was talking about, like, Tevin. And he was talking about how a lot of detractors were removed from Twitch, like TXT and Bill Purnell, when they got kicked off of Twitch, and they were then streaming on YouTube. He's like, well, this is the Cesspool of Humanity. You go to YouTube, and that to me was like, wow, when you're drinking, that filter just comes right off of you, and you really see that true color in there.
It's delightful.
Where just the gamer words just come flowing.
Yeah. I don't. I wouldn't encourage him to drink, but we know that. Yeah, it all comes out. He gets comfortable. He loses his facade, and I want to see it happen. I want to see the response to it, and I want to see him suffer. But hey,
I think a lot of people want to see him suffer. The thing is, I don't think anyone's going to see, no one's going to see Phil Burnell on YouTube, on Twitch, anywhere. You're not going to see him, get, the email of doom. And you're not going to see him break down crying and sobbing, going, oh, please, please, don't take this from me, holding on like a cat with the claws and, scratching his way out. You're never going to see that.
I'd love
and
to.
I think a lot of people, it would be amazing, but
Yeah.
you're not going to. It's not going to happen.
Oh.
You're not going to see him on the nightly news, getting dragged out of the house, Cat flipping him the bird, Jasper flipping him the claw. It's not happening.
I could only hope. But no, I understand. It's realistically, I guess you're right. I guess.
And I think it's more just that I've seen everything and you've seen it too, what he's gone through. Everything that he has been able to shuck off. And that has made him bold.
Yeah.
Where he thinks that he cannot be touched. He's actually believing that he's the pig roach.
Indeed.
He's believing that he can get away with this.
He's saying as much, indeed.
Yeah, he does.
And yeah, the nerve of him doing it, I want him to keep having this. What do you call it? Hubris? I want him to keep talking like that, because when the karma does strike, it will be so much more delicious. But I don't know. Okay.
I don't think he's going to go out with a bang. They always say, the end of the world doesn't come with a bang, but with a whimper. I think that's how he's going to go out. He's not going to go out with a bang. He's going to go out with a whimper. One day, the stream won't come back.
Yeah.
And that's we're not going to get some great finale to the saga that is Dark Side Phil. I think we're going to get just nothing.
Radio silence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not satisfying, but it's it's reality.
Yeah, yeah, no, it makes sense, but uh, I want popcorn. I want, you know, I want uh, confetti. I want everything. I want fireworks. I want to see the whole shebang. But the
would I love it? Yes, I would most definitely. I would love to see, Kat on somebody's stream just dishing. I'd love to see, Kat and Leanna. I'd love to see them both in the room going, can you believe what this guy did? Oh my God, he did that to me too. I would love to see that, but it's not happening. The fireworks won't come. I think the fireworks will come more from the detractors who are going to make, who are going to speculate, who will, get their tidbits from their sources, and I think that's where you'll get your fireworks.
Naturally. So, speaking of fireworks, have you ever caught yourself being angrier about his actions than you should be?
This was another one where I kind of molded over of me being angry.
Right.
Have I been angry at Phil? No. Have I been disappointed in Phil? Most definitely.
I see. Yeah.
I don't get angry. He's a lolcow on the internet. He's not worth me getting angry over. I don't believe that this life is fair. I don't believe that, I see people who are wholly undeserving of things, receiving things all of the time.
True.
And do I get angry over it? Certainly not. He doesn't impact my life nearly enough for me to get angry over.
Okay, next question. Before I get to that, allow me to thank you again for taking time out of your day to do this. Mama Thyri, I can't thank you enough. And
it's my pleasure.
Let's go. Next question is there... Oh, God. My favorite question. Is there anything positive about him? Anything good that he ever did?
So I was listening to the other interviews, and the first answer that comes to my head is obviously no. I haven't seen him do anything. But then I started thinking.
Oh.
I tried to start thinking of this from outside of the detractor sphere. I've had, 8-9 years now of kind of being in the vortex for me to say, oh, this guy's irredeemable. Mm-hmm. But if I were new, I would have to say, now not knowing what I know about this particular individual, mm-hmm. I would say the one redeeming quality is how he treats Derek. Is how protective he is of somebody who clearly has a mental disorder. Despite the fact that this guy with a lot of problems and a lot of issues is in his chat asking some very repetitive questions.
Yep.
A lot of very mundane questions. You can tell he's very simple. You can tell he's very needy.
Right.
And Phil has taken to him almost like a big brother.
Yeah.
Despite the fact of what he does, in his free time, is very questionable.
Mm-hmm.
His choice of entertainment wouldn't be my choice, but yeah, I'm not gonna knock what somebody does, in their free time.
It leaves a lot to be desired.
Some of it. Yes, it is. It's, I could think of much better ways to, spend my free time. I'd like to touch grass every now and then.
Right.
But hey, I don't judge what someone, chooses to watch in their free time as long as everybody's legal.
Right. Keep it legal.
I see Phil taking on a very big brother role with him. So I would say that is the one redeeming thing. If I could say anything positive at all, it would be that.
After the side-scrollers interview, do you think Craig and Adam did a good job?
Yes, I do. I think they asked some very hard-hitting questions, especially for people who were outside of the vortex.
Yes.
There was no way that they were ever going to ask all of the questions. You know, back in, on this date at this time, you said this thing. I mean, we've had the benefit of time.
Yeah.
To, collect the clips, to collect all of the evidence. We've had the benefit of years. They had the benefit of 2 weeks.
5 hours was never going to be 100% satisfactory to everybody. No. But in the time they had, they couldn't have done much better.
I don't think they could have done any better. Craig is a very skilled interviewer. He would not let Phil dance around. He kept guiding the conversation back to the original question. Especially when Phil would be like, oh, well, back in, 2014, I lost my, the helicopter job, and I was like, oh my God, stop. Or, oh, well, the trolls did, and then he was, wait a second, you're talking about trolls again, we're talking about you.
Yeah.
So I think he did a very good job of guiding the conversation. And Adam played a very good foil to be the voice of someone who was not familiar.
Yeah.
With Phil at all. He had a few hours in the vortex. And seeing through his eyes what a critical thinker would do when faced with Phil. When faced with, man, it really sounds like you're hiding something here, pal. When faced with, with things, like WWE champions. He was very skeptical. The fact that, Phil didn't show his phone, that was so damning.
Right.
When he was offered the olive branch. I've always been one of the detractors that has been like, okay, there's a 99.9% chance it's him, but there's still that 0.1 out there that everybody's wrong on this WWE thing. Maybe he plays it, but is this him? Where's our proof that this is him? The fact that he did not show the phone, that was it for me. That was it. I was like,
yeah.
And him saying that, oh, well, you could get hacked and you have to, delete all, you have to delete it within, an hour of receiving it and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, do you understand how hacking works? It takes a lot of work to hack an email address that you don't know with a password and two-factor authentication on that. Do you have any idea how hard that is to hack it?
Well,
it made no sense.
I would argue that he or his levels of paranoia at this point must be insane. He I don't know how to put it. He must. I don't know when the last time was he had a good night's sleep. He's on Twitter checking everything. He's very quick to respond to things that he pretends he didn't see. So I think that's one of his go-tos, to say, oh, well, look, everyone's out to get me. those detractors are scumbags, and they're out there to take me down.
I think with Phil, I think that there is a degree of paranoia, but I think he also hides behind things that he doesn't understand. Like, oh, they hacked my account. Oh, they can hack this. It's like, no, Phil, you provided the information on that one password that had leaked a long time ago. He provided that. That was out there. Someone just decided to go, okay, I'm going to just plug this thing into everything and see what happens. Now, if he is so stupid as to be reusing passwords like that, then that's on him. And if he is truly that paranoid, the man should have two-factor on every single service that allows him to. The Apple ID has two-factor available. You can have two-factor. You can have two-factor on your email. You can have two-factor on your bank accounts. All of it. He needs to have, two-factor set up. He needs to have randomized passwords set up on every service he uses. If he is truly that paranoid of him getting hacked. And he's not. He's really not that paranoid. He hides, in my opinion, behind saying, oh, well, hackers can get in. Hackers are really, the great scapegoat for everything. They're going to hack me. They're not going to just hack you by knowing a username. They don't know the email address attached to the Apple account, and they don't know the password, and they don't know a two-factor.
You're right.
How are they going to get in?
Yeah, if he was that paranoid, he would keep everything like that set up, and, he can't even update his own OBS. So, or, keep his laptop in a modern state.
Don't even start me on that. I've been screaming. This thing is a liability.
If it was paranoia, he would check everything. He would, like I say, keep things up to date. But as you said earlier, it's easier to blame his failings on other people. If I didn't do something correctly, I can just say somebody else did it. If OBS attempted to update its firmware or software, whatever you call it, well, that's them for not thinking of us people with our 8.1 devices, and it's their fault.
Right. Not the fault that, you were given plenty of warning that Windows 8 was going end of life.
Yep.
That, people in your chat says, hey, Windows 8 going end of life, here's the date. Not that his computer likely has been feeding him warnings saying, hey, Windows 8 going end of life, you need to upgrade this thing. And then he's got a bunch of pieces of software saying, we're not going to work with Windows 8 anymore because it's a liability.
Could you imagine the notifications on it now? Just a whole bunch of bubbles saying help. Just something. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised he doesn't have an up-to-date, brand new laptop. I know he wanted a PC. He seems to be quite...
Well, he does have the new laptop. He does have the new streaming laptop. It's his PC that's behind the times. I think that laptop that he got gifted him is a Windows 10.
Why is he using the PC?
Because the PC is what he uses for the rendering and all of the heavy lifting of the stream. He only uses that laptop to view stream chat.
What?
That's what he uses the laptop for. He's got a Windows 10 PC. It's, a fairly decent one. It's like a $700 laptop.
So
it's not the greatest.
You're telling me he has a perfectly capable device there?
Yes.
And he's not using it. Well, he's just using it for
stream chat. I wouldn't say it's perfectly capable of handling all of his stream, especially the encoding. I don't think it could handle the encoding.
Okay.
Because he encodes at the same time. I don't think it's capable of that. I have a laptop that I call my travel laptop. Mm-hmm. It's one of those cheaper laptops. I wouldn't want to stream off of it.
Yeah, I tried that. Fail. But still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunspot.exe has failed on that one.
What? That makes no... you would think by now, if Mr. Business Degree wanted to keep the business running, he said he wanted the green screen, he said he wanted the light, why? I mean, no.
Because he wants. He's the ultimate consumer. But he wants all of the things.
But he doesn't want the right things.
Right. He just wants the things.
Well, he's a
he wants.
Sorry.
Because this is what I believe with Phil. He watches all of these people who are a lot more successful than him. He'll watch a Moist Critical. He'll watch people with way more means than him, way more followers, and he tries to run his quote-unquote business the way that someone with 20,000 viewers would run their stream.
Yeah.
So 24-hour follow mode, 5 mods, just looking to chat for help with everything. He tries to make himself out to be bigger than he is. If he stayed in the lane of a 200 viewer streamer and had the growth goal of a 200 viewer streamer, fine, you don't want trolls in your chat. Understandable. Let your mods handle it. If you don't want bots in your chat, fine, you don't want bots in your chat. There's ways to stop the bots. 200 viewer streamers have been doing it for a long time. There's no gain that Phil gets. He chases viewers away by trying to behave like a 20,000 viewer streamer. He says he wants the green screen and that he wants all these lighting setups, and he puts a neon ghost behind him saying, "Look at my stream setup," and these boxes, these game boxes behind him, like the big streamers who get these as promotional items. They're advertising those brands. Phil's not getting paid by PlayStation to have that box behind him. Why's the box there?
I know.
But you'll see when you have a streamer who has sponsorships, they'll have the loot behind them. Yeah, because they're advertising.
Right.
And that's perfectly acceptable and fine. Get your hustle on. Get the bag. If someone's going to offer you, $10,000 in a sponsorship to put a box behind you, go get that bag.
Yeah, I agree. But he's above that, and anybody who does do that is a sellout and a shill.
Of course. Until it's Phil, and he gets, a video game for free, and he's telling you, how wonderful the game is,
Mm.
He is what is wrong with Schilling.
He's what's wrong with life and humanity. and calm down. No. He says, that all these things are shilling and bad and people just selling out, but he's now doing everything that he was criticizing.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you forget everything you said? I mean,
Because he believes that when he makes those changes, he'd be like, I'm a mature adult. That's why, I changed. When I went to direct capture, dude, direct capture, has been a thing for the past, decade and a half. Stop it already with, calling it direct capture. It's streaming these days. No one's pointing their VHS camcorder, at a television screen anymore.
right.
It's not direct capture anymore. It's just streaming. It's part of the business these days.
Let's see. I will move on to the next question. Do you think Darkseid Phil will ever learn? Will he
And
ever,
I'll counter it with learn what?
will he ever see the error of his ways? Will he repent? Will he?
No.
No.
No, he's shameless.
Yes.
He's absolutely shameless. He doesn't see the error of his ways because he doesn't see his ways in error.
Right.
I do think that if he ever had a consequence for his actions, and that consequence being the money going away, I don't even think that he sees if his YouTube channel got taken away. He sees himself going to Twitch or Odyssey or Cozy. He sees all those as options to still get his tips, because he wants those tips. And the more tips he gets, I don't think he'll ever see an error of his ways.
Of course.
I don't.
As long as the money keeps coming in, it not only does it enable him, but it reinforces his delusion. The money puts him on a pedestal, and it says, "Oh, okay. Well, look, I deserve it. This is what people do for me. So I'm Mr. Big Shot. Be honored by me being here, even talking to you. And I'm within my right to beg and take your money."
Yeah, I think that he sees the money as an affirmation of "you like me."
Yes, exactly.
He doesn't see the troll tips. And even I'll even call them like the low key troll tips. Do I think that whoever's handing him $100 is a dyed in the wool Darkseid Phil can do no wrong fanboy? No, I don't.
Nor do I.
I think that this person is playing both sides. I think that they like seeing detractors get all mad and they start screaming and hollering. Go, oh my God! Did you see that? Email gave 50 subs. Did you see that? OIC gave $100. Oh my God! What a loser! Blah 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 blah. Yeah, they just got what they wanted. They just got their $100 worth of entertainment. They see their name in videos.
Thank you.
And they're like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I think that someone with more money than sense is doing this. Now, do I think that especially these days with there being no Streamlabs notification other than what Phil triggers. Phil can always say, "Oh yeah, thanks, anonymous, for that $150 tip. Wow, that was so amazing. Yeah, thank you so much." Mm-hmm. Yeah, where's the money, Lebowski? It really, I don't trust about 80% of the tips, especially these days. I don't trust them. I believe that, now this is my conspiracy theory, but I believe he and Kat have passed money back and forth on their PayPal accounts.
Yeah.
In order to jack the tip total up prior to Streamlabs going down on him and him not having those little pop-ups.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Is he ever going to get a job?
Yes, I think he will. But I think it's going to be even further in the future than a lot of us think. And this I don't want to say it goes into dark territory, but it's slightly dark.
Oh.
I think he's waiting for his parents to pass.
Yeah.
I think he's counting on that.
You believe you believe he will get a job, but not anytime soon.
Right. Not until after his parents pass. I think he's counting on, and I think he has in his head a number that he thinks he's going to inherit, and it's probably way inflated from what it actually will be, because when people get older, and I saw this when my grandparents passed, what a child believes that their parents are worth, and how much they've made, and how wealthy they are. To the child, the parent is, oh yeah, well, they can buy all the things. They bought a car, they bought a house. They're gazillionaires. And in Phil's mind, I think that's where he thinks his parents are. But his parents are aging. They're, on very limited income. Medicare in the United States does not cover everything as people age. It covers 80%.
Okay.
And that 20%, as you get older, as you get closer and closer to end of life, that 20% is a lot of money. There's also the cost of funeral expenses, which is not cheap in the United States.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money that's going to go out of whatever inheritance he thinks he's going to have. And he thinks that he's going to, be rolling around in the money.
Growing up,
not happening.
He would have that in his head that they were able to get everything and give him everything he wanted. Trouble is, he wasn't able to see to see what they had to go through to get there, to appreciate the work they put in over their lives to be able to give him all the things he wanted. And I don't know where that didn't happen. I mean, I don't know how his parents didn't teach him the value of money and working for it and saving and...
I think they tried to.
You do?
But I think I do. And the reason why I say I think that they tried, but I just don't think that they enforced it very well. Sometimes, new parents, Phil's an only child. I was an only child. And I see what my parents went through when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I saw what my parents tried to instill in me versus the stories that Phil would tell about his childhood. That, he's in this, when he was in his apartment, when he was in the Connecticut condo going, I told you to buy the figure. Why didn't you listen to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you see that kind of attitude, regardless of if this is a made up story, retcon to hell and back in his mind.
Mm.
And it probably is, because he likes being the internet tough guy. But what you do see is how disappointed he was that he didn't get a $20, $30 action figure. And his parents saying, hey, we couldn't afford it at that time. Those are life lessons that parents teach to children, saying, hey, I can't just afford to get you whatever you want whenever you want it. If you want something, go out and earn it. And I have a feeling his parents probably said, okay, well, Phil, you can, do extra dishes, go wash the car, do activities, read 20 books, and we'll buy you the action figure when you want it.
Yes.
And those kinds of values and life lessons, that's what my parents taught me. Coming up in Baltimore, I was given $1 a week from my parents as my allowance. Anything else I wanted, I had to earn it. I was washing their car. I was mowing the lawn.
Right.
I was doing all kinds of chores to make money.
I was happy
a little hustler.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. It was so much fun to earn. I do the housework, and then afterwards I see an envelope in my room. Oh shit! That's my allowance. I earned that.
Yeah.
And
it felt good to earn.
Yeah. I would also like to say, there comes a point where even as a child, maybe you didn't appreciate the things your parents had to do. Like, you're young, you're rebellious. As a teenager especially, you might not totally understand and be upset that they don't give you what you want. But for me, naturally, like, there came an age where you suddenly realize, yeah, I now understand exactly what they were doing. I understand exactly why they said what they said on that day. And it just comes together. But for him, he's never had that.
Yeah. He's never had a parent say no to him. He's had his parents, the way his parents always seemed to formulate no's to him were, oh, not right now, Philip, not right now. Oh, no, honey. No, just sit there and play with the toy. It's okay. Okay, now we gotta go, Philip. That kind of coddling. Never telling the child, Philip, get up off the ground. Stop throwing a tantrum. Let's go.
Stop biting your fucking nails and get in here. I told you to shower 2 fucking hours ago. Look, sorry, I'm getting carried away.
No, but it's true. It's true. That kind of behavior out of the child. And when he moved out on his own, he still had that mentality of, I now have my big boy place. This is my place where I can do whatever I want. You know what? Drunken college kids act like that.
Yeah.
Not mid-20s men with a business degree. And I don't think he ever grew up out of that. And that's where we see a lot of these behaviors out of him, this entitlement. He never grew up past 17 years old. He just never did. And it's thanks to the parents just going, fine, Phil, just do whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to, I want to relax. It's my time to relax. And that's where you see some of that kind of interjecting into his mannerisms these days, where he's like, this day is my day off where I get to do nothing. And yeah, it's probably because his father would say to him, Philip, I worked 80 hours this week to put food on the table. I'm relaxing and watching football. Stop bugging me, kid. Leave me alone.
Do you, I will skip the section about dying on stream. What would you like to see happen to him? What would you like to see happen to him and for him ultimately?
I'd like to see him find balance in his life. I'd like to see him balance working go get a part-time job, get that resume back up. Go to Boeing, go to a helicopter company or something out there in Seattle, and work part-time and stream part-time. If you absolutely cannot give up the streaming, if you can't give up the video games, fine. But work part-time. Get some insurance, some, employer health care, start saving. He's 41 years old. You don't have a 401k. You've got a lot of catching up to do, pal. In my case, if I wanted to retire tomorrow, I could. I'm older than Phil, but I could retire tomorrow if I wanted to. And I don't. I love working.
Right.
I would be horribly, horribly bored if all I did was sit around and play video games all day. But that's me.
Yeah, I understand. My father was the same. He reached retirement and it just didn't feel right. He found something else. He found a new job in security, and he did that to his dying day. To not work, it didn't compute in his head, and it was something he always did. He came here to the United Kingdom from Barbados. He had the work mentality and attitude, and he wanted to provide, and he wanted to be an adult,
Yeah. Be an adult. I think if he is given the opportunity to work, to have the experience of doing some hard work, because it's going to take him a long time to build up that resume. For the longest time, when we were talking about failure, I failed very hard. I ran my own business. Ran my own business for 15 years. And the business failed. I was a consultant. The industry that I was consulting in, kind of stopped being popular.
Right.
And I had no backup plan. I was young. I was definitely stupid in a lot of things that I did. I blew a lot of money that I should not have blown. And I was coming out of that, and I'm like, I need to work. And now I've got a 15-year gap in my resume. Well, time for me to go to the temp agency. I can still type. I can still do this. I can still do that. I can do, data entry. I can do all this stuff. I was working minimum wage jobs, working temp work in order to get my resume up.
Yeah.
Now I'm making 6 figures. It took a lot of work to get there.
Of course.
But it was worth it to me because I was able to find the joy in work and find the happiness that I have now in doing good work. And I could, in theory, if I wanted to, start up a stream, go follow YouTube Dreams. I'm not talented enough to do it. Nobody wants to see Thyri playing video games. I am bad. Well, I am worse than Phil in a lot of games.
You never know. You never know.
But a lot of people, I would really like to see Phil get a job.
Okay. With that, I will ask you one final question. Any last words you would like to add in regards to Darkside, Phil?
I would like to say, I think for detractors young, detractors old, don't forget to take care of yourselves. It is not worth getting an ulcer, getting anxiety, getting angry over some lolcow on the internet. Don't take it so seriously. If he does something, even when he does, or somebody does heinous acts, like shutting YouTube channels down, like, doing this, it is not worth it to get upset over some lolcow on the internet. Take some time, take some stock, and really assess, what is important to you. And what should be important is family and friends, any hobbies you have outside of the screen. Go outside, touch some grass, go on vacation. See that there's a big wide world out there.
Mama Thyri. Mama Thyri. I'm getting emotional. Hey.
Oh.
I couldn't. Awesome. There's no better way to end the stream. Thank you so much for your wisdom and your knowledge, and agreeing to doing this. And it's been an absolute honor to do this and talk to you and everything. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, allow me to once again say thank you to Thyri, and thanks again. The more we do this, the more wisdom, the more this. I'm really enjoying doing this and hearing what people have to say, and what we've been saying so far is so beneficial to him. He could really listen. He could really take advantage of what we're saying. But this is Darkside Phil. And once again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you to everybody for taking part in this. For taking time out of your day, for being here, hanging out with me, answering my questions, being awesome. The Detractor community, just big ups all around.